hello everyone, and I am 2% Milk. I'm going to be doing some hosting for you guys tonight, so welcome everyone to the stream. Hope you're ready for the first of many GBA runs we have going on here at Spyrothon 6. I'd like to introduce you again to RubberDuckyAssassin. Hello.
Hello.
I feel a little weird because most of what we could talk about right now has already been discussed in that fire. So you're going to be running one of the newer categories, all Fireflies, and of course that implies you're going to need all the other Fireflies in that game. But is there any other collectible you're going to be needing to collect throughout this run that we should know about?
Nope. The only thing that I will say before the run is that right at the start of the run we're going to be doing a glitch that completely messes with the game. A little bit for the majority of the whole entire run, not that big of a deal, but it will affect the entirety of the run. I'll discuss it more in the run. Yes. It's confusing. Sorry.
I'm sure you'll do a wonderful job of explaining it. Best of luck on your run.
Thank you. Okay. So I am going to start. We're going to go on go. Timing for the category starts. For any category starts on the selection of yes on Are You Sure for deleting of the file. So on go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so right off the bat, we're going to soft reset our GameCube. Doing this skips the first introduction cutscene. It also, sorry, something in my throat, I guess. But it also messes with the game's coding a little bit. So it also, oh, is there echo? There's an echo. Okay, I'll stop talking and then I guess fix it later. Oops. Okay, so sorry. I'm trying to not cause too much of an echo, sorry. Okay. So now we got that. Flying or running and collecting a firefly is always going to be like the best option for me to collect any of these fireflies. I said it earlier, but I totally blanked. Sorry for the audio issues, guys. Gosh. But I think we're good now, again, I guess. I think, maybe, probably. But pretty much we're doing this stage backwards, actually. So typically you're supposed to run around throughout the level, figure out that you're not able to burn these haystacks, and then get the fire ability. But we flew over the fence, so completely avoided having to do all that. because the fence's hitbox doesn't go all the way up. So right here, the messing up with our lives, or doing that. Okay. I'm trying to figure out audio problems and commentate this run at the same time. I'm sorry, guys. The game's actually not muted. Turning off music at the beginning of the run saves multiple minutes over the course of the run. Oops. It saves time at any percent, saves time in literally any of the category. The reason it saves time is just because it lags the game ridiculously. Since this game is ran and built to be ran on a Game Boy, they aren't the best like game machines. So that was good. All right, cool. So yeah, very small amount of things can make the game lag. So turning off the music really, really lessens the amount of lag that I have to worry about. There are lag reduction strats, but there aren't that many, since turning off music just cancels it out pretty much. can't hear sound effects. Okay, I'll try turning it up when I get the chance. There isn't that many downtime or that much downtime in this game. Except for the save screens. And also those imps that I did earlier, those imps are typically really annoying to deal with. They just kind of run away from you. And if they touch another imp that's frozen, it'll be unfrozen. So you just have to freeze all have however many imps there are without them touching each other, so that you can freeze them all and go get the Firefly. So there's 2 of them. We do both of them. Shamrock Isle is a stage where we actually do get all the Fireflies in any percent. So that stage is pretty much the same. But right here, I'm actually did a little bit of a detour. I'm going to collect a few of these gems just because I don't want to have to collect them later. Because every time you enter a stage, it counts up your gems. There is some routing that goes about either skipping the save screen or gem counting, or just makes it so it's a little faster entering the next level we enter, or a future level that we're going to enter later. All right, so for this one, we have to hit these bowling balls into the water. They have really, really whack hitboxes, so I need to be a little bit more careful with them. You can't just like hit them anytime. Okay. All right. That's a okay, cool. You have to hit them while they're on the ground, and if you hit them too soon, you might miss them. If you don't hit them hard enough, they might not go in the water the first time, so you just have to make sure you have enough speed, and you're hitting them at the right angle. That was really good. I knocked that bowling ball and started my glide just before the game gave me that text box. This Firefly is one that you wouldn't normally do in any percent, but if you were going for like world record attempts, this is actually a fast Okay. I don't know if my audio is fixed, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Don't really know what's happening. Goodness, missing these jumps. So what we're doing now, there is a totem, whatever you want to call them, pedestal maybe. There is an elemental totem in every hub world, and there's 3 of them. So we have to eventually do that. So I pretty much just try to figure out where the best spot for me to do that is, like where to start, and I go about routing around that as well. I'm also collecting those gems so I don't have to collect them on my way to the next area. This is definitely the hardest level in the game. So let's see. Oops, already starting off a little slow. So I have to burn all these little tumbleweeds here. Okay. It's definitely possible to burn all 3 at the same time. It's just I have to... It's pretty much almost make a full half circle on the top of my controller. I got the hardest one, so that's all that matters, I guess. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the glitch at the beginning of the game did, because I didn't really get to do that. Whoops. Okay. So on top of it messing with the game's live counter, it also messes with sparks, just properties throughout the entirety of the game. It also messes with the game's in-game timer, which you might have seen at the beginning of the, like me in the menu. It was just kind of showing 99 hours, N2 minutes, and however many seconds. That's just, the game doesn't really like and or know how to deal with pausing. So pretty much almost every glitch about that we're going to be doing revolves around pausing. Pausing is just a little too big brain for this game's hardware. So, oop, oop, okay. All right, got a little tongue-tied there. And running into these, into those little pedestals there just give you the power up. It's just a more powerful version of whatever element that we have. There's 3 of them that we're gonna see. 2 of them is ice and fire. It's just more powerful, quote unquote. So we can like freeze ice if it's slightly colored. It'll automatically kill enemies if you hit them. Stuff like that. Not too important right now and really ever, but okay. I talked to Bianca earlier while I was doing the star totems, so don't have to talk to her now. You're able to run a little bit during the like loading of the text boxes for this, so if you run and jump at a really good time, you can get pretty close to where you already have to be. That was actually a pretty good amount of distance, so I'm gonna stand a little to the left of this platform over here. Collect this, and stand a little closer to it. It's a little scary, but it's fine. Okay, we're good. That's a 1 cycle. Typically, you have to wait for him to shoot an ice ball at you, go to the middle, get another one. But if you really precisely time it, he's definitely the hardest boss of all the 3 bosses that we fight in the game. As long as you time that precisely and have 2 ice balls close to Crush, you can collect all 3 of those in 1 cycle. This is another stage we do backwards. You're supposed to run on top and come over there later, but I don't want to, so I'm just going to jump down. Since this game is isometric, yeah, isometric, 2.5D basically, like stories basically for like second stories or platforms or anything look a lot shorter than they actually are in the game. So you're gonna see a lot of me not instantly gliding when I should, or just delaying glides and stuff like that sometimes to get a little further. It actually does save a lot of time, depending. And right there is, it's nothing important, don't worry about it. Just know that that was intended. Okay. It absolutely wasn't intended. It's an obstacle course you're supposed to do. The trigger for the game knowing that you won goes into the water. So as long as you hit that trigger that's in the water, it counts it as a win. And there's a firefly or a fairy over here. Fairies in this game count as checkpoints, which I didn't collect the checkpoint on purpose, so I like flew around her so that I wouldn't so I wouldn't be warped back to her when I died. I would just be warped in that same minigame. Bring the skull back to the ghost. Or bring York back to Shivers. I think that's the name. Don't really know. If I save time, the name changes. Like, depending on how much time I save or lose, the names change, you know? And just particular movements so that we avoid collecting any of these gems. Then we're going to go into Candy Lane. This is a route change. So this category is, again, really new. There's still a lot to be found with the category in terms of just movement and routes, especially routes. But this is definitely the newest route that I've used. And there is definitely possibilities for faster routes in the future, but okay, that was weird. It's fine though. Pretty much what this does though is instead of me going, I would go counterclockwise through Celestial Plains. We're just going to go actually no, we're going to go clockwise instead of counterclockwise instead of clockwise. There we go. This is obvious. This is the worst level in the game, by the way. Not because Candy Lane itself is bad, but because this mission is terrible. Candy Lane is actually a pretty fun level. Has a very high skill gap, and there's a lot of fast strats that I could use to make it even faster. But this minigame is just RNG of how long it takes. It can either take 40 seconds, it can take 1:20 seconds. It kind of just depends on how fast he wants to make the cake. So, I just kind of have to wait here until he makes the cake. And this is just the safest way to go about it. They come at random times in random areas. Sometimes they can sneak up on you like that, okay. And if you have that happen, you can lose, again, up to 40 seconds to a minute, something. So you really don't want to lose time on this mission. Or any unnecessary time. We definitely got a slower... There we go. Okay. We got it. Flew through the cake. Easy peasy. Okay. Yeah, that was definitely a slower cycle of that. So not much we can do about that, other than finish the rest of the stage as fast as possible. Oh. Okay, that was rude. All right. So, and all these jumps that I'm making, they're actually like not the easiest. Another thing about it being an isometric game is that all these ledges and platforms are a lot closer to me than they look. So I have to press A pretty soon after each of those jumps, or a bonk is going to happen if it doesn't happen right away. But that was okay. So now we're going to go across. We're going to go do something we're more familiar with. This is just any %. Watertopia is a fast level. So yeah, all these are very, very quick and easy. Nothing about this is going to be any different. But there is some interesting tech with this level. Okay, cool. So this is like one of the only, actually I think it's the only like area where one of the only areas at least, though we have to kill a bunch of these enemies. The only way to kill these particular enemies is to run at them, so we can't kill them with fire or ice or anything. So we have to always be running if we're killing them, and then we also have to try and use that to our advantage for the rest of the movement for the stage, which obviously it looks really cool if you can get it down precisely. Okay, cool. You can get him very, very, very early, like a little earlier than what I got him at if you get like literally the perfect angle, but it's really hard. So that's kind of like a RTA version of a task strat that is for that particular minigame. Oops. Okay. So right here, you can actually go about this 2 different ways. You can either kill the enemy last or collect the Firefly last. I like to collect the Firefly last because it's a little easier. But yeah. If you kill the enemy last, you typically want to fly towards... you wouldn't be doing the Death Warp strat, basically. You'd fly towards the start of the level during the text boxes instead of dying. Oh, that was a nice distance. Now this, Winter Mesa, is definitely the worst stage design-wise in terms of what they were wanting. Like, in terms of making a game for completionist's sake, terrible design of a stage. Terrible design. 3 out of the 6 or 7 Fireflies that are in this level are auto-scrollers. And one of them is this auto-scroller. So, pretty cool. This is the part of the run that makes me just... It honestly just makes me question like why they decided to make these 3 Fireflies in this level at the same time. Because this itself takes about 2 minutes, just having to walk Mr. I don't remember his name. Lyle? I don't know. It's something with an L, I think. But we have to walk him to his brother, friend, other llama with the hat and scarf. That's at the other side of the level. And then we have to backtrack and do the rest of it. Because if you go too far away from Mr. Friend over here, I'm not going to show you guys what happens. But if you get too far away, he gets scared and doesn't want to keep going. So he'll go back to the very beginning, and we have to do it all over again. Lyle, I was right. Nice. Oh, wait, you may just be saying that because I said it. I hope I'm spreading false information, honestly. That's a pretty good name for a llama. But we're also going to be doing stuff while we're doing the autoscroller. Duh, it saves time. The first one was a little risky, was getting that tree at the beginning, and the second one was getting that Firefly. Everything else is pretty obvious that we'll get on the way. But we're almost done with this first autoscroller. Okay. Whoops. You actually like move during the transition of that, which is the only screen where you can do that, but they let you do it. Oh. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. So yeah, backtrack. Come down here. Ooh, that was not close at all. Alright. So we just have to make that timer for the candle at the bottom. The candles, you can only light them with that upgraded fire ability. So, as long as we get to that candle in time, we're good. So these are the other auto-scrollers. We have to play hockey. For those of you who either live in Canada or like hockey, I'm sure you're familiar with this technique. Oh, whoa! That was nuts. He almost hit it into his own goal. Okay. So there's two different Fireflies that we're going to get for this. There's easy and there's hard. You get 5 on easy and 8 on hard. So, pretty straightforward. It's just kind of weird that they decided to add 3 very slow-paced Fireflies into one level and kind of have relatively good level design for the rest of the levels in the game. But I digress. You know, it could be worse, I guess. Maybe they wanted you to really feel those Christmassy feels, you know? But I'm basically just aligning myself with the line on the second... Oh, whoops. The second iceberg on the top. So, like, the top line of icebergs, I guess, or the ice cubes. And I'm just lining myself with that last one. And diagonally shooting. It makes it so he can't actually knock it past if you do it in the right area, and then it goes straight into the goal, because it's a bad game. Okay. Now we're done with that. Now we can do the rest of the level. Oop. Okay. So instead of running all the way back like we did earlier, I'm gonna do this. And die. Depending on where I spawn, I'll do certain movement. Okay, we spawn here. That's fine. That's a pretty tight jump, so it's not the easiest to make. Alrighty. So the slowest, definitely the slowest level in the game, done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So now we're gonna go on to Gulp. Something I didn't mention about the bosses is the bosses actually give you a upgrade, quote unquote, every time you beat them. So Crush gives you the ability to break those purple rocks, crush the rocks, huh? And Gulp gives you another bar of health, which is helpful. Definitely more helpful than the breaking of rocks, because we're able to clip past any of those anyway. Okay, so Gulp has a bit of RNG in it. Depending on anything, he will either shoot it out of the left or right cannon, and you want him to shoot it out of the one the one closer to Spyro, because then it'll circle back around and hit him faster than it would if it was a different one. But that was actually not that bad, so we'll take that. Okay. So this is where a majority of the route changes are. I'm gonna fully heal just in case. We're gonna collect this Firefly. So as I said earlier, gem counting is really slow, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. So we try our best to avoid collecting gems. On top of that, for all Fireflies, since we're going to be having to go back and go to some of these levels anyway, we're going to beat Ripto without having all of the Fireflies that we need, so that we can Atlas Warp and go to the rest of the stages that we need to do. Atlas Warping just completely, it literally saves so much time just in one stage because it doesn't count fireflies, it doesn't have save screens, it doesn't have us starting at a door. It just auto loads us to the area that we need to go to, and we're good. Whoops. That was a mistake. Oh, okay. That's okay. So I wanted to cut through and get that totem before my timer went out, but it went out a little too soon. Oh my gosh! Okay, well, that's a typical... This is now a typical run of all Fireflies. So, unfortunately, if you were to die in this level and you didn't get a checkpoint, you have to redo all of the radars that I got. There's other instances like that. In Tiki Tropics, there's the light up, not the small tikis, but the bigger ones. They do that as well. So that was just incredibly unlucky. I've actually like never had that happen before. That specifically. I've had crazy stuff happen for sure, but not that crazy. That's already got. That's got. Okay. I need to get you. Typically, I would get that from that side, so I guess I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. Okay. Risky again. Ah. Oh. Yeah, they were just being really aggressive there. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just don't hit me one more time and I'm fine. Alright, we're good. Okay, cool. So, we got that. Instead of staying in the level and doing all the Fireflies in the level the first time around, we're actually going to leave. And we're going to come back to the level later. Because regardless of how we do the level, we're going to always start and end at the same spot. As if we were entering the stage again anyway. So, it doesn't really matter that much. We're going to go back to it later to save some time on menuing. So we got our last two Fireflies to get the 75 Firefly count that we need to get to Ripto. And we're just going to finish this guy off and then basically just clean up the rest of the levels that we didn't go to. So like I said, pausing is a big brain thing for this game, I guess. I don't really know. But pausing really messes with the game. So instead of doing what the game intends us to do and go and get all of the different elemental upgrades, and breaking down those cards and then hitting him, we just jump and pause, and then we're able to be inside of his barrier. Alright, so talking to Moneybags makes it so all of the Sheila stages are open. Sheila stages, she's a kangaroo. You have to pay a certain amount of gems in order to enter them. So instead of us having to worry about gem count the entire time, we just beat the game so that we can talk to Moneybags and enter those levels for free. And the reason I collected those gems so earlier on in the run is so that I didn't have to collect. Okay, I didn't have to collect gems entering this level. I shouldn't have gotten hit there. That's why I reacted as I did, but that's okay. Okay, it's okay. We made up time for that. So Atlas Warp. We don't have to count any gems. Movement like normal. I do want to be fully healed for this next area. Or at least the next... well, this area is fine, but the literally any other Sheila stage after this, I want to be fully healed. This is the only one that's relatively tame. All the other ones have some pretty wacky strats or cycles that I need to make. So, but you don't need to worry about that right now. Something to also note about the Sheila and Agent 9 stages is that they're way harder if you're trying to actually get all the gems, because these stages are specifically mainly for getting those gems. There's only one Firefly in each Agent 9 and Sheila stages, so there's obviously not a lot of Fireflies to get, but there's a lot of gems. Pretty much, but we just have to ground pound these flower pots. It's always going to be about ground pounding a specific thing. But there's going to be some really cool strats for Sheila. Sheila is a really interesting character to play as, honestly, for this category. Alright, still going around those gems so we don't collect them, just so that entering it is faster. I can't Atlas Warp to any of the stages I haven't been to unless I use cheat codes. So I still have to do some of these loading screens, but not all of them. Okay, this is unlucky. So enemies won't spawn if you load it or if you like jump into certain areas fast enough. So if I were to have jumped into that area from the highest I possibly could have, it actually wouldn't have been able to load the other enemies that it was supposed to load, which is kind of interesting. I didn't get high enough, but. And these bullets I have are just for protection. I just hold down the B button and it kills things. Whoops. Alright, so now I'm going to do these pedestals because I definitely did skip them earlier. That was not a mistake. Low-key forgot I did something already. That's fine though. Oops. All right. Pretty simple. That's Celestial Plains has a very like condensed pedestals for some reason. It's not very spread about. At the beginning of each of these Sheila stages, I'm also pausing because there's text boxes between Sheila and Sparks for each level. That's slow, so pausing right before those text boxes show up, we'll skip all of them. I'm also double jumping off of those each platform because you get locked onto those platforms when you unlock them, but double jumping off of them makes Sheila jump off of them. So I'll ground pound and then double jump, otherwise I'll get locked onto it. Right, this is one Monka S part. Yeah, that's okay. This is fine, but this part is Monka S as well. Alright, we're good. Oh, Okay. Lots of somersaults here. Okay. We're fine. Ooh, that's terrible RNG. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wait, whoa, whoa. Leave me alone. That was crazy. Okay. Alright. Now we're done with that. Gonna go to our last stage in Celestial Plains. I do want to be fully healed for this. This stage is incredibly interesting if you were going to do an all gems or 100% run, but in 100 or 90% it's rather bland. But I do get to show this off. So pausing at whenever I ground pound on any of these platforms makes it so that I can move during the transition or during the animation of whatever icicles are going down to the ground, because those are the things I have to ground pound. So ideally I'll be ground pounding on every single one of them except for one, I think. And it's not a very difficult thing to time either, for some reason. It's pretty simple. I just want to make sure I'm not getting hit during these like cutscenes, but we're good. Right here is where you would do a really cool out of bounds glitch with Sheila in all gems, but unnecessary here. Oh wow. I have to delay that pause a little bit just because I'm on I'm on like 2 or 3 different levels from that particular generator. If you do it too soon, it will just you'll get locked on it anyway. Also, nothing bad happened in this level, so that's good. But I will headphone users, like I'm warning you for the rest of the Sheila stages. There is a particular glitch that can happen that is very loud, and that's like the best I can say. It's just really freaking loud. I don't really know why it happens, but it happens. Oh, I didn't do that right either. I was supposed to warp into Moon Fondue, not into the Starry Plains, but that's okay. So from here, we're already here anyway at the beginning of the last time. This is just supposed to be another way to warp to Starry Plains. So this is pretty much a better version, a little bit better version of the cake minigame that we had to do. The only reason it's a little bit better is because it's faster and it's not the RNG isn't as a big of a deal. So it's dependent on how far away each of these pieces are from the ship. But like there's no lollygagging done by this mouse. So okay. Cool. So all you gotta do is make sure that none of those robots touch the ship, and you're good. Whoops. There we go. Alright, so now I didn't have to do any of the save screens, watch counting any gems or anything. I just got to go to Starry Plains, go to Dreamy Castle. So Dreamy Castle is interesting. It has an auto scroller with it. That thing I just threw fire at. Oops. It just kind of flies through the sky, and I have to wait for it on different parts of the level and hit it with more fire because it's on a hot air balloon. So yeah, I tried my best to just do things while that's happening. That's not too crazy, like that. I don't know what happened there, but that's okay, I guess. Whenever you die, you just have to go back to the beginning and have them go there again. Luckily, that wasn't too far into it, and I can technically do some other stuff during this, so it's okay. Okay. Nice. Well, don't really know why that happened, but I must have been a little too far to the left or right. However, it's okay. So we're just going to stay here, because we don't really got anything else to do. Wait for him to come down. Generally, it's a pretty tight cycle, as you saw. At least for the first cycle, it's pretty tight. Just because that Firefly is a little too, at the beginning, is a little too, like there's a little too much at the beginning that I have to do for that Firefly to be a little too much. So I try to get a little later, which is riskier, but. Alright. This is another obstacle course. We're going to do it intended, because I don't cheat. Alright. We're going to do it again. This time, faster. Okay, I think that was faster. Probably. Okay. He just dropped. So I want to wait. Oh, no! I did it too early? What? Wow. I did that too early. Okay. So you just wanted to, you want to wait for him to get to this platform before you go into that door. Otherwise, he'll do what he just did there. Golly. Okay. Well, this is just slow. I apologize. Because typically it doesn't really feel like an auto-scroller until the very end, because you're not really waiting on much until the very end, because you have things to do until you go into this door. But kind of messed up. So we're just going to wait here. Hope you're having a good day. I do hope you guys are enjoying this, even though it's a little hectic. It's definitely at least chaotic neutral. If it was a class of some sort. If we were playing D&D. All right. And I was definitely supposed to Atlas warp, but that's okay too. You can kind of see where that time loss is, just from like having to count those things. Coming down here, and this is going to be the last area as Spyro that we're going to be doing, other than the hub world. So if you were able to tune into the interview, you would know that I have world record in this category, and I'm definitely good at this video game. And that's all that I have to say about that. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, so there is the imps that we did in Shamrock Isle are the first iteration of the imps that we see, and then we don't see the imps again until now. So there's two imps, Fireflies, that we're going to need to get in here, and they are way harder than they were in Shamrock Isle, but... Oh, that's not good. That's fine. This is a backup. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna hold down. I'm just gonna get stuck in the. Ooh, that's. I can't. There we go. There we go. Okay, that was a little sloppy, but that was fine. So I'm gonna hold R. Holding R makes it so that I run a little further than I'm supposed to start, and then it makes one of these imps get stuck in the glass. And now I just freeze those 4, or freeze those 3, and then get the last one I needed to get. Yeah, that's the task strat. Instead of having to do a lot of manipulation of standing in a corner and hoping that they run towards you and just worrying about all that fun stuff, we just manipulate. I know where they're going to be, and I make fun of them for it. It's a pretty simple one. Use the just have to kill all 3 of those guys. They go invisible once they use their ice ball, so oops. Yeah, I use no, I have LNR set to LNR, I guess. Okay. So now we're gonna finish up Starry Plains. Oh wait, did I? Yeah, I did. Fluttering right there makes it so that we can get that totem, whatever the heck it's called. Podium, maybe? Not sure. English was my first language, doesn't mean I'm good at it. Fuck. That's okay. I'm gonna wait for this platform to start. There's a couple different ways I can go about doing this section. As long as I don't do that another time, then I'm fine. Okay. Uh-huh. Alright. Oh, okay, I missed one. What did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, I think I just missed this one, yep. That's okay. Alrighty. So, I'm supposed to have ended that at a different area, but that's okay. I'm gonna just... take advantage of the way that this game does its warping a little bit. Cool. Alright. This is our last Sheila stage. This is definitely the most chaotic one, so we'll see how this goes. I have to delay my pause for this, for these guys, because there's 2 different kind of animations that there are for when you ground pound on these hourglasses. There's the first initial one, and then there's when it actually goes down. If I do it too soon, it won't give me the text box skip, so I have to delay it just a little bit. That sucks. It's RNG where he's standing and how he decides to go about doing whatever he does. And I did just realize I'm not on full health, but that's okay, because I'm just gonna play really well. This is the only one we don't pause for, because it's only that. It's only that one. If he just stays there, that's fine. I just need him to stay down there. Alright, so now this is where like audio can get a little messed up and things can sound distorted and loud. So prepare yourself. Nice. All right. So I was doing a movement while that was happening pretty much the entire time. And just doing it off screen. That was difficult, but you just have to count. Alrighty. So now we're just going to our last area. You can do this in either like that, or you can do movement to it. It really doesn't matter, I don't think. It might be a little slower to do it the way I just did it there, but it was also because I went about that a little wrong, but that's okay. This is probably one of the more interesting stages if you're doing all gems or 100%. It actually is. It's probably still interesting for both categories, I'd say. The only reason I'd say it isn't is just because Agent 9 stages are rather boring in all Fireflies, unless you really appreciate the art of a true speedrun of literally just ignoring everything and just going through and getting the one collectible. Then it's cool. That's partially why I enjoy doing these Agent 9 levels, because it's just great. Okay. But yeah, there's some neat tech in it. It's just not that advanced. So there's only so much time that you can save in these stages, and there's only so much that you can do to save time. But there's actually like a lot of like secret hidden compartments for where I have to go for gems, especially in the Sheila and Agent 9 stages. So it's something that is neat about these stages, that they're still very different if you're doing any % or 100% of the stages. All right, so that's our 100th Firefly. Time is about to start, or about to be done once I, whoops. Can I menu? There we go. Once the credits start rolling is when time is. And time. And that's all Fireflies.
All right.
Yeah.
GG, my dude.
GG indeed.
How did you feel about that run?
I gotta say, little disappointed in the audio issues, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned some stuff and maybe are interested in picking up the game. There is so much for this game in terms of just like optimizations to be found and runners to be had and marathons to be shown off at. And I really love this game. It's very, very fun to play, which is something that out of all, I've been speedrunning since 2012, and this is one of the few games that I have had a lot of fun playing, like actually playing the game and speedrunning it. It's very, very fun, and I recommend it. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on, and I feel like we've kind of beat this into the ground a little bit, but this is a new category. You're still constantly finding things, and you're streaming a lot these days, trying to stream every day for 2 years, is it?
Yeah, yeah. We're on day 297.
Hell yeah, dude. And where can people go to watch you?
Same as the same name as the screen, RubberDuckyAssassin, twitch.tv/RubberDuckyAssassin. I am streaming every single day, 2 years straight. I speedrun a bunch of different games. I plan to speedrun a bunch of different games, including Spyro. Mostly handheld Spyro, but Spyro. So if you want to follow me in that journey, feel free to follow me. Be sure to follow Spyrothon. Please hang out because Bread Ghost is going to be showing off an even awesomer handheld game. It's super cool. He's going to be doing 100%, and I'm excited to watch it. So.
All right, and thank you one more time for doing that run for us. It's been a blast, and we'll be right back with Attack of the Rhinox.